This is exercise 1. As you can see, the drawing is in paper space. I'm going to reproduce it on the screen using a split screen method which I have developed. You can see that the drawing has only 2 viewports showing. Actually, you could have as many as 15 viewports showing on any one drawing. Each viewport shows a look inside paper space, and you can do things with them. For example, I can go to View, Orbit, Continuous Orbit, and move this drawing in 3D space any way I want to. In addition, by double-clicking outside of that model space viewport, I can get back into paper space and I can change the scale to any scale I want for the 2D drawing. You'll learn more about all of that later on as we progress, but right now let's get started creating the drawing. The first thing I'm going to do is to go to File, Open. I want to open a drawing which I created called A-Size Paper Space. You'll be drawing on that mostly. I'll open it. And Zoom Extends, Z enter, E enter. Next, I'm going to the window in the menu, and I'm going to tile both drawings vertically. Next, I'll click on the left drawing, and then I'll click on, to make it active, then I'll click on File, Save As you will have to do, and give it a number. In this case, I'll call it 1. Of course, you will not have the drawing on the right except in paperback form, because that's the drawing I want you to create. But you will open up my drawing, A-Size Paper Space, and follow this procedure. You want to, after you've saved it as a number, you want to edit. ED enter. You want to ED enter, which is to edit, change the number to 1. You go down here to scale, it's going to be 1/2. And you probably want to erase the Save As. Your next step when you create the drawing will be, make the left viewport active, click on Model to get into model space, go to the layer icon, make layer 1 current. Click OK. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to make the right screen active and then zoom with the window to enlarge the dimensions so you'll be able to see them better without looking at your reference drawing book. Now I'll click on the left screen to make it active. I'll type L enter, pick any point on the screen. Down here ortho must be on, and I'll type 3 enter, move the mouse down, 2 enter, move the mouse to the left, 3 enter, move the mouse up, C enter, that closes it. Next, you'll probably want to pan, P enter, to move it over a bit, zoom with the window, Z enter, W enter, or click the icon, and just to make the drawing larger. Now you will want to offset. You will type O enter, 1 enter, and pick the line on the left and move it over. You'll discover that you have to use the escape key a lot to free up the command line. I'm going to pan this up a bit, then type CO enter so that I can copy the top view and drag it down here to create the front view. Once again, you will want to offset, so type O enter. 1 is shown acceptable, so I'll hit enter. I want to offset this horizontal line up. Next, you will want to draw a fillet with a radius of 0. F enter, R enter, make sure 0 is shown, hit enter. Now you can select, you fill it, you can select 2 lines. Try it again, F enter. I'll select these 2 lines to clean up the intersection, hit the space bar, clean these 2 lines, again these 2 lines, and you can see that the simple 2D drawing form is complete. Before dimensioning, I'll want to move apart the views. M enter. I'll use a window to select the top view, move it up just a little bit. That'll give me room for dimensioning. And so the next thing you'll do is go to Layer and make DIM, Dimension Layer, Current, and click OK. Now we'll proceed to dimension with linear dimensions. O-snap should be on, so you pick 2 points and move the mouse. That dimension looks small. That's because I have not set up dim scale. So I'm going to erase that. Now I'll type on the command line DIMSCALE, dim scale. Instead of 1, I'm going to type 2 enter. The reason for that is I want to increase the size of the dimension, so when it's plotted at half scale it'll be the right size. So you have to change dim scale often. We'll try now to dimension the object. From here, that looks good. Hit the space bar to repeat the command. Put a dimension here. Hit the space bar, repeat the command, another dimension. Hit the space bar, and so forth and so on. I'll just do one more dimension here. And then I can zoom with real time to shrink it down a bit so you can see that we have completed the dimensions for this drawing. Please remember that when you're operating AutoCAD, you can hit the Shift or Enter key to repeat a command, whether it's drawing lines or putting dimensions. Now that we have completed the 2D drawing, I'm going to make the right side drawing active and zoom extents. Z enter, E enter. Try it again. Hit the escape key, Z enter, E enter, because I want you to be able to see what the solid model is going to look like. And so I'll click on the drawing on the left to make it active. Then I'm going to use zoom real time to shrink the drawing down substantially, and then pan to move it to the lower left corner so that we can start creating the solid model. Your first step in creating the solid will change the layer, make the solid layer current. Next, you'll want to go to rectangle command and pick 2 diagonal points. Then M enter, L enter. In other words, move the last thing you drew and move it up. Click Ortho to take it off, put it in the upper right corner. Hit enter to repeat the command. No, try it again. We'll do the rectangle command one more time on the smaller rectangle like that. M enter, L enter, and move that up there. Your next step will be to move into southeast isometric view. Then you'll want to pan and zoom to show or to enlarge what is going to be the solid model. Now you will type EXT enter to extrude, and you'll select one of the rectangles, enter, 1 enter. Do the same for the other rectangle. Hit enter key, EXT enter, 1 enter. Now you'll want to move the boxes together, so you'll type M enter, select the smaller block, the lower left corner, and then put it in the upper left corner, and then you will go to Union and select both blocks so as to add them together. Our next step will be to go to Visual Styles and add some color. At this point you'll probably want to type Z enter E enter, that zoom extends, and move into the top view. Remember, you're still in model space. So now we'll move into paper space by clicking on the first layout button, then go to layer control, make the viewport layer active, and click OK. At this point we want the drawing on the left to look like the drawing on the right, and so I'm going to type MV enter, which stands for M view. I'm going to take off the object snap because that sometimes gets in the way, and I'm going to make a larger rectangle, hit the space key or the enter key, then make a second one, and you'll notice that both viewports are green, similar to the one on the right. The next step for you will be to double click inside the small window, move to southeast isometric, then pan and zoom to enlarge the solid object. I'll zoom with the window to enlarge it. You double click outside to get back into paper space. At this point, if you click on the frame of the 2D drawing, you go down here to Annotation Scale. You can pick a scale for that viewport, which happens to be a half. You can see that the 2D drawing was enlarged to twice its size. So now you can double click inside the viewport to get into model space and then pan. But remember, you're not supposed to zoom when you're working on a 2D drawing here in this manner in model space, because you'll change the scale factor. You can pan and move, but you do not zoom it. Now double click outside and you're back into paper space. The drawing looks okay to me, so I'm going into layer. I'm going to make layer 1 current and freeze the viewports layer. As you can see, the green lines are hidden now, and the drawing is complete and ready for plotting. The entire drawing is plotted at 1:1. However, the 2D drawing will be plotted at 1/2 scale. That concludes exercise number 1. Of course, there'll be plenty more. Thank you for watching.